First topic for Module 2, and that is the endocrine system. So, pag natapos natin ito, pasunod na circulatory system. And as I have said earlier, doon tayo magsasimulate ng measurement of blood pressure. But I will not yet require you to buy sphygmomanometer set. No, ako na munang magdadala. Pang second year nyo na bibilhin yung kanya-kanyang PT kit ninyo. Yes. When I say PT kit, no, it's a toolbox containing all of the things that you will need for your internship. So as early as second year, bibili na yon. Kasi yun na yung pagpapractice ninyo, no, in your second year courses. So sa ngayon, ako na muna magdadala ng mga gamit. Okay, so let's start with the endocrine system. So when we say endocrine system, it is composed of ductless gland or glands which do not possess ducts because they do not need to empty their secretions on the surface of the body but in our blood. Ang secretions ng endocrine gland papunta sa blood natin so that they can go directly to their target tissues. Bawat endocrine gland may specific secretions. Yung secretions na yon, which we call hormones, mixes into our blood. Tapos, yung mga target tissues niya may receptors for those specific hormones. Like for example, yung gonadotropic hormones natin, which targets our gonads, meaning when you say gonads, testis sa lalaki, tapos ovaries sa babae. Only the testes and ovaries have receptors for gonadotropic hormones. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Bawat target tissue may receptor para doon sa specific hormones na tumatarget sa kanya. And endocrine glands are different from exocrine glands, just so you know. Anong pagkakaiba? Exocrine glands naman, these are glands which possess ducts. Meron silang ducts na that empties into the surface or into the body cavity. Example ng exocrine glands, yung sweat glands natin, sebaceous glands natin, merong dinadaanan yung secretion palabas sa katawan or papunta sa body cavities natin. Again, pag endocrine, ductless yan kasi diretso sa dugo natin yung mga hormones that they secrete. So let's start with the first gland is the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland from your biology courses or from your science courses during your basic education, di ba sabi natin, yan yung master gland of the body. No? It's the master gland of the body. Why is it considered as the master gland of the body? Because it functions to control other glands in most of the tissues in the body. So as you can see, no, it has at least 6 hormones na sinisecrete niya. And yung mga 6 hormones na yon, again, controls other glands. Kaya siya tinawag na master gland, no, of the body. It is a small gland situated at the base of the brain, specifically in the part of the sphenoid bone. I hope you still remember this, the sella turcica, the depression in the sphenoid bone called sella turcica. Doon situated yung pituitary gland natin. And it is connected by the infundibulum, no? Infundibulum to the hypothalamus. So therefore, the hypothalamus controls the functions of the pituitary gland. It is divided into 2 regions, namely the anterior and the posterior region. The anterior region is sometimes called adenohypophysis. Again, adenohypophysis, while the posterior is called neurohypophysis. If you will look at the anatomy, no, on how the anterior and posterior parts are connected to the hypothalamus, tingnan nyo. Yung anterior hypothalamus is, the anterior pituitary is connected to the hypothalamus via blood vessels. Blood vessels yan. So, ibig sabihin, paano kinokontrol ni hypothalamus yung anterior pituitary gland? by secreting hormones also. There are hormones coming from the hypothalamus going into these blood vessels that is secreted or that gives signal to the anterior pituitary gland. While the posterior pituitary gland is directly connected from the hypothalamus via nerve cells. Kaya makita nyo, axons naman yung pumunta dito sa posterior pituitary gland. Hence, now, it is described as the adenohypophysis, while yung posterior naman is described as neurohypophysis. Again, there is a total of 6 hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. Yan, nakalimutan kong mag-advance. So, ito na yung sinabi ko kanina, that the anterior pituitary gland, is under the control of the hypothalamus. Neurons of the hypothalamus secretes releasing hormones. No? Yung neurons sa hypothalamus naglalabas ng releasing hormones represented nitong kulay green. Yung kulay green na molecules na yon. No? Tapos naglalabas din ng inhibiting hormones represented naman by yung kulay red. Anong ibig sabihin? Pag sinabing releasing hormone, yan yung nagbibigay ng go signal kay anterior pituitary gland to release specific hormones. No? Pag sinabi namang inhibiting hormone, siya yung pumipigil kay pituitary gland, specifically anterior pituitary, from releasing specific hormones. Nakukuha niyo yung point? So, dalawa. It's either releasing o kaya inhibiting. That's how the hypothalamus, no? That's how the hypothalamus controls the anterior pituitary gland. Now, what about the posterior pituitary gland? No? Paano niya kinokontrol? Okay? Yung posterior pituitary gland directly controlled. No? Anong ibig sabihin? Kung makikita nyo, walang blood vessel na involved dito. Walang blood vessel na involved because there are neurons in the hypothalamus that directly ends in your posterior pituitary gland. So, kung ano yung hormones that is released by these neurons, yun yung ilalabas ng posterior pituitary gland. Ang tawag doon sa mga hormones na yon, it's called neurohormones because those are directly released by those neurons from the hypothalamus. So, ang pagkakaiba, summarize lang natin, pag sa anterior, no, yung neurons niya hindi mahaba, hindi nag-end dito. Yung neurons niya naglalabas ng releasing and inhibiting hormones that will influence the function of the anterior pituitary. While yung control for posterior, directly control niya because the axons of the neurons in the hypothalamus directly extends into the posterior pituitary gland. Okay? So, dalawa yan. Anterior and posterior. So, let us now discuss the hormones secreted by the anterior pituitary gland. First is growth hormone. No? Growth hormone targets most tissues in the body. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga tissues sa katawan natin may receptors for growth hormone. No? So, almost all tissues in the body can be stimulated by growth hormone. No? As we grow, as we develop internal organs natin, skeleton natin, muscles natin, as we grow and develop, lumalaki yan as influenced by the growth hormone. So, it stimulates growth of bones, muscles, and organs. And there are 2 kinds of abnormalities in the secretion of pituitary hormones, or specifically growth hormone. If there is too much growth hormone, okay, it causes giantism. No? Giantism, pag sobra-sobra siya, usually nagsisimula siya during childhood. No? So, siguro nakakita na kayo ng mga ganyan, no? Yung pag may abnormality, sobrang lalaki. Di ba? So, kapag ka naman too little, it causes pituitary dwarfism. Nakakita na rin kayo sigurado niyan. Ngayon, there are two effects of too much growth hormone. If this excessive secretion takes place after adolescence, hindi na lalaki. Hindi na siya tatangkad ng sobra. Bakit? Magkaiba yan, ha? Pag daw yung excess secretion nangyari during childhood, the tendency talagang lalaki siya. Tatangkad. Pero if it took place after adolescence, hindi na siya tatangkad. Pero ang mangyayari, magiging anong tawag doon, magiging excessive, sobrang bulky ng mga buto. No? Yung mga katulad, for example, yung cheekbone, yung panga, ang tawag natin doon, acromegaly. No? Yung mga fingers, sobrang matataba, pero hindi tumangkad. No? Ang tawag natin, that's acromegaly. Why? Because after adolescence, the growth plates of our bones is already closed. No, yung growth plates ng mga buto natin, hindi na yan humahaba. No? Kaya hindi na tumatangkad. So therefore, the term for that, again, is acromegaly. Pero during childhood, it results to giantism. So remember the difference between giantism and acromegaly. Maliwanag. Now, iba din yung pituitary dwarfism tsaka yung mga unano na katulad ni Dagul. Kilala niyo si Dagul, no? Hindi siya dwarfism. Hindi siya pituitary dwarfism. Yung kay Dagul, that's called achondroplasia. No? Wherein, normal ang pituitary function niya. Ang problem niya is yung skeletal system mismo. Kaya mapapansin nyo, yung mga ganon, no? Ang maliit yung katawan, pero yung ulo, normal yung size. Di ba? Kasi ang problem nila, yung epiphyseal plate, yung growth plates ng buto natin. Kaya may dalawang klase ng dwarfism. Yung achondroplastic dwarfism na katulad ni Dagul, at saka yung pituitary dwarfism na katulad ni Mahal. Kilala niyo si Mahal, namatay na siya, di ba? Yun. Proportion yung body niya, 'di ba? Yung size ng ulo, no? Yung limbs niya, lahat maliit. It's because of an abnormality of the pituitary gland. So remember that. So again, first anterior pituitary hormone is growth hormone.
Sir, pero kompleto pa rin po yung bones.
Kompleto pa rin yung bones nila. Kaya lang hindi, halimbawa, yung mga long bones, hindi siya humaba, kaya hindi tumangkad. Di ba? Tsaka mapapansin nyo sa mga may achondroplasia, meron silang mga, anong tawag doon? Yung mga gitling-gitling. Di ba? Tapos nakaganon sila, increase yung kanilang lumbar lordosis. Di ba? Yun yung may mga yun yung kung tawagin nila achondroplastic dwarf. Again, that's your growth hormone. Next, next hormone is called TSH or thyroid stimulating hormone. So obviously, it targets the thyroid gland. Galing sa pituitary gland, anong target niya? Yung thyroid gland. No? What does it do to the thyroid gland? It stimulates the thyroid gland or it regulates thyroid gland secretions. Mamaya pupuntahan natin. Ano ba ang secretions ng thyroid gland? Yan. Nakuha nyo? Kaya itong pituitary gland natin, tinawag na master gland kasi meron siyang mga secretions that regulates other gland. In this case, it's the thyroid gland. Kaya tinawag siyang thyroid stimulating hormone. Now, if there is too much TSH, there will be overstimulation of the thyroid gland. Pag na-overstimulate ang thyroid gland, no, lalaki siya ng lalaki, which results to goiter. Iba yung bosyo. Yung lumalaki yung leeg. Okay? Lalaki ng lalaki yung thyroid gland. If there is excessive TSH. Nakukuha? Pag sobra-sobra. If there is too little TSH naman, No? Ang tawag natin doon is hypothyroidism. Siyempre, pag too much TSH, mabubombard yung thyroid gland mo. Magkakaroon ka ng hyperthyroidism. Pagka kulang naman, magkakaroon ka ng hypothyroidism. Liliit naman siya. Ngayon, mamaya natin i-discuss ano magiging effect nun pagka lumalaki yung thyroid gland mo. No? Ano magiging effect nun pag lumiliit yung thyroid gland mo? Pag nandun na tayo sa thyroid gland. Nakukuha niyo yung point? So, meron siyang chain of effect. No? Meron siyang cascading effect. Galing sa pituitary gland, no? Maglalabas ng TSH, tapos si TSH, ita-target niya yung thyroid gland mo. So, dalawa yung pwedeng effect. It's either kulang or sobra.
Kaya po madalas sila nagpapalpitate.
Yun, papunta tayo doon mamaya. Yun yung effect nun. Alin kaya dyan sa dalawa yung nagpapalpitate. Yan, punta tayo doon mamaya. No? Pag yung kayang may hyperthyroidism or yung may hypothyroidism. Pagpunta natin sa thyroid gland. So nakakadalawa na tayo sa anterior pituitary hormone. First, growth hormone. Second, thyroid stimulating hormone. Next, you have your gonadotropin. Kaya tinawag na gonadotropin, no? Actually, dalawa yan. No? Ito yung una. Kaya tinawag na gonadotropins because they function to regulate your gonads. Gonads, testis sa lalaki, ovaries sa babae. Nakukuha? No? So, ayan, no? Ovaries at saka testis. Now, first of the gonadotropins is your luteinizing hormones. No? Luteinizing hormone. So, parehong LH yan. Now, for females, as I've said earlier, ang target tissue, ovaries. Anong function niya sa ovary? It promotes ovulation and progesterone production. Again, it promotes ovulation and progesterone production. No? Kapag ang mga girls ay nasa reproductive age na o reproductive maturity, it is the luteinizing hormone that causes fertility. 'Di ba? Sa menstrual cycle ng babae, merong fertile period na tinatawag. The fertile period, ang responsible doon is the release of luteinizing hormone. No? So we will discuss more of that pag nasa reproductive system. Now, while for males, ang target tissue niya is the testis. Ano naman ang function? Production of sperm and testosterone. So it has something to do with fertility din. Ang nagpapa-fertile for both males and females is yung luteinizing hormone. So remember that. Now, pangalawa. So, sabi ko sa inyo, dalawa yung gonadotropin, di ba? Pangalawang gonadotropin hormone, meaning it also targets the gonads, is called the FSH or the follicle stimulating hormones. Again, follicle stimulating hormone. So what does it target? The follicles in the ovaries. No? The follicles in the ovaries. Okay? Anong ginagawa ng FSH? It causes maturation of the follicles. Anong ibig sabihin ng follicles? Yung follicles, yun yung mga lagayan ng itlog sa loob ng ovaries. No? Yun yung nakabalot sa mga itlog sa loob ng ovaries. Ang function ng follicle stimulating hormone, siya yung nagpapahinog dun sa itlog na yun. Okay? Tapos, ang function ng LH, ganun sa mga babae, ang function ng LH, siya naman ang magpapaputok dun sa follicle para makalabas yung itlog. Nakuha? Pag lumabas yung itlog, yun yung sinasabing fertile yung mga babae. So, ang mas mauuna, so sa cycle, alin ang mas mauuna sa girls? Yung FSH. Kasi siya yung nagpapamature, nagpapahinog dun sa follicle. Pag hinog na yung follicle, tsaka dadating yung LH. Siya naman yung magpapaputok dun sa follicle para lumabas yung itlog. Maliwanag ba? So, ganon ang function ng FSH. How about for males? Anong target tissues niya? Sa testis pa rin. Pero yung seminiferous tubules sa loob mismo. So, anong function niya? Still for sperm production. So, dalawa ang gonadotropins natin. Again, luteinizing hormone, and then second, you have your follicle stimulating hormone. Now, most patients with pituitary dwarfism, usually, ang cause ng pituitary dwarfism is overall a disorder of the anterior pituitary gland. Hindi lang yung growth hormone. Usually, ang kulang sa may mga pituitary dwarfism. Usually, most of the secretions of the anterior pituitary gland deficient, including gonadotropins. That is why most of the time, people with pituitary dwarfism, hindi rin sila nagkakaanak. Na? Unlike yung may mga achondroplasia, like si Dagul, may anak yun. Pero yung mga pituitary dwarf, mahirap magkaanak. Why? Because hindi developed yung kanilang gonads. Kasi kulang yung mga gonadotropin hormones. Kaya makita mo, di ba? Si Mahal, si Mura, hindi fully developed yung kanilang secondary sex characteristics. Kaya imposible din talagang magkaanak. Maliwanag. So, gonadotropin, again, luteinizing hormone, and the follicle stimulating hormone. Dalawa yan. Okay, next, anterior pituitary hormone pa rin, no? Prolactin. Prolactin, ang target tissues, no? Mammary glands and ovaries, but primarily it's the mammary gland. Anong ginagawa niya? No? Is milk production, no? Milk production in the mammary glands. No? Hindi pa yan yung milk secretion, ha? Production pala. Usually, milk production begins during pregnancy. No? Pag nabuntis, kaya nga lumalaki yung mammary glands, it's because of the effect of the prolactin. It stimulates the mammary gland for milk production. Iba pa yung hormone na magpapalabas ng gatas. So, iba yung milk production, iba din yung milk ejection. There is a different hormone for that. And it's in the posterior pituitary gland. Pupuntahan natin mamaya. Okay. Next. Ito na yung last two. No? Sa anterior pituitary hormone, you have your melanocyte-stimulating hormone and your adrenocorticotropic hormone. Unahin natin yung melanocyte-stimulating hormone. What does it target? The melanocytes in the skin, specifically in the epidermis. Anong ginagawa niya? It stimulates melanin production in melanocytes. Hindi kailangan ng sunlight yan. Hindi kailangan ng sunlight. Kasi doon sa diniscuss natin, di ba? Pagka si UVA tsaka si UVB, di ba, tumama sa balat natin, na-stimulate si melanocytes. Itong melanocyte stimulating hormone, kaya niyang paitimin yung balat kahit hindi naaarawan. No? Kahit doon sa mga areas where the sun doesn't shine, sabi nga. Kaya usually, mapapansin niyo sa mga buntis, pag mga buntis, umiitim yung leeg, there are parts of the body na mas nagiging darker. It's because of the effect of the melanocyte stimulating hormone, kahit hindi naman naaarawan. Yun. So that's your MSH. And then you have your adrenocorticotropic hormone, di ba? Ang medyo mahaba yung pangalan niya. Ano yan? Anong tina-target niya? Ayun, eto na. Adrenal cortex. Hence the name adrenocortico. No? Meaning adrenal cortex, meaning it stimulates. Trophic, meaning to stimulate. No? It stimulates the adrenal cortex in the production of certain corticosteroids. Again, it stimulates the adrenal cortex in the production of certain corticosteroids. Example ng corticosteroids, nang alam yung corticosteroid. Anong common na corticosteroid sa katawan natin? cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Na? Si cortisol, sinisikret ng adrenal cortex natin kapag ang katawan natin is under stress. Okay? No? Pag lagi kang anxious, lagi kang puyat, lagi kang pagod, mataas ang cortisol level mo. No? Nagsisimula yan sa hypothalamus, tapos papunta sa anterior pituitary gland, tapos si anterior pituitary gland sinisikret yung ACTH. Ngayon, anong effect ni cortisol? Anong effect ni cortisol? Yung effect ni cortisol, lagi kang inaantok. Pakiramdam mo, parang lagi kang pagod, parang gusto mong laging matulog. No, ano pa? Parang gusto mong laging kumain. Nakuha niyo yung point? No? Kaya pag stressed, no, ang tendency natin, stress eating. No? And also, pag stressed, no, pag nagpakuha kayo ng blood sugar, the tendency is mataas ang blood sugar. Kasi si cortisol, nakakapagpataas siya ng blood sugar. And that is the reason why lack of sleep, no, or sleep deprivation can actually lead to diabetes mellitus. Hindi lang yung pagkain ng sobrang matatamis, no, yung nagkukos ng diabetes mellitus, but stress itself, specifically sleep deprivation. It's because of the increased level of cortisol. Amen. Didiscuss pa natin yan when we go to the adrenal cortex. Just like we mentioned earlier, doon sa thyroid gland, di ba? Si TSH, ini-stimulate si thyroid gland para maglabas ng sarili niyang secretion. Si ACTH, ini-stimulate si adrenal cortex para maglabas ng sarili niyang secretions. Maliwanag ba? Again, it's adrenocorticotropic hormones. Okay? So, as a summary, sa anterior, balikan muna natin. So, we have your growth hormone, which targets most of the tissues in the body. You have thyroid-stimulating hormone, which targets the thyroid gland. And then you have your gonadotropin hormone, dalawa yan, luteinizing hormone, and follicle-stimulating hormone. And then you have your prolactin, which targets the mammary gland for milk production. And then you have your melanocyte-stimulating hormone and adrenocorticotropic hormone. Now let us go to the posterior pituitary hormones. Dalawa lang ang posterior pituitary hormones. One is antidiuretic hormone and the other one is oxytocin. And as we have mentioned earlier, yung dalawang yan, no, are secreted by neurons directly coming from the hypothalamus. No? Galing mismo sa hypothalamus. Let's start with antidiuretic hormone. What do you mean by antidiuretic? No? So, diuretic, meaning pag-ihi yan. Diuretic, pampaihi. Ginawang anti. So, meaning pagpigil, no, ng pag-ihi. Nakuha niyo yung point? Antidiuretic hormone. Ang target niya, kidneys. So, pag pinipigil ang pag-ihi, ang goal nun is to conserve water. Nakuha niyo yung point? Kasi pag umihi ka, naglalabas ka ng tubig. So, pag pinigil ng pag-ihi ng katawan mo, ibig sabihin, nagko-conserve ka ng water. Usually, kailan mo dapat mag-conserve ng water? When you are dehydrated. No? Low intake of fluids. If there is low intake of fluid, no, it will be detected by your hypothalamus. Madidetect ng hypothalamus yan na mababa ang water intake of the body. That water should be conserved. Hindi maglalabas ng tubig. Hindi ka masyadong iihi. Maglalabas siya ng antidiuretic hormone. In the same way, na pag uminom ka ng maraming tubig, di ba ihi ka naman ng ihi? Kasi pag ihi ka ng ihi, you secrete less diuretic hormone. So feedback mechanism, negative feedback mechanism siya. Nakukuha? Kaya palatandaan ng mga doctors kapag dehydrated ka na. Di ba? Pag dehydrated, sobrang dehydrated ka na, nakailang pupo ka na tubig ang nilalabas mo. Ang sunod na tanong ng doktor, pag sinabi mo, ay more than 5 na po. Di ba? Tatanungin ka, kailan yung huling ihi mo? Di ba? Na madami. Ay, last night pa po. Hindi na po ako umihi from last night. Ibig sabihin, dehydrated ka na talaga. Kino-conserve na ng katawan mo. Yung tubig, hindi na siya naglalabas na ihi. It's because you already are secreting anti-diuretic hormone. Okay? Ngayon, ano yung mga abnormalities ng anti-diuretic hormone secretion? Okay. So, kapag kulang ka sa anti-diuretic hormone, no? Low ADH secretion, ang tawag dun sa sakit na yon is diabetes insipidus. Do not be confused between diabetes insipidus and diabetes mellitus. Alin doon sa dalawa yung blood sugar ang problema? Yung pangalawa, yung diabetes mellitus. No? Pag diabetes insipidus, kulang ka sa ADH. Okay? No? Meaning the kidneys produce large amount of dilute, watery urine. At dahil nga ihi ka ng ihi, it can lead to dehydration and thirst. Maliwanag. Usually, kailan nangyayari yan? In cases of head injuries. Complication siya ng mga traumatic head injury. Kaya yung mga nagkakaroon ng traumatic head injury, aside from their neurologic deficits, isa sa mga complication is yung endocrine abnormalities such as ito nga, diabetes insipidus. Maliwanag ba? No? So let's say for example, a patient is referred for physical therapy after traumatic head injury kasi nagkaroon na ng abnormal muscle tone. No? Minsan isa sa mga complication that you can expect is large amount, no, of urine. No? Na pwedeng paulit-ulit na mag-i-excuse yung pasyente kasi naiihi na naman. Ganun pag merong diabetes insipidus. So, tandaan, this is anti-diuretic hormone. Now, the next hormone is oxytocin. Oxytocin, ang target tissue is the uterus. No? At ang function niya is to increase uterine contractions during labor. No? During labor, naglalabas ang posterior pituitary gland na oxytocin. Yun yung reason kung bakit tumitigas yung tiyan. May Tagalog term dyan, humihilab yung tiyan. No? Hanggang mapush palabas yung baby during labor and childbirth. So dalawa lang. Again, ano yung dalawang hormones secreted by posterior pituitary gland? ADH and oxytocin. Okay? Questions about the hormones of the pituitary gland? Wala? Sige, let us continue. So, 6 sa anterior and then 2 sa posterior. Now, let's go to the thyroid gland. Yan. So, sabi natin kanina, the thyroid gland is controlled by what hormone? From the hypothalamus, TSH. Thyroid stimulating hormone. Diba? Yun ang nagko-control niyan. Now, it is one of the largest glands in the body. And thyroid gland requires iodine to function. No? In fact, no, yung mga compounds na nasa loob ng thyroid gland natin, puro iodine yun. Okay? No? Para makapag-function siya. And it secretes 2 kinds of hormone, thyroid hormone and calcitonin. Again, thyroid hormone and calcitonin. Now, meron kasing 2 klase ng cells in the thyroid gland. Okay? Yan, tingnan muna natin. Okay, so if you will look at the anatomy of your thyroid gland, meron siyang mga lobules, no? Meron siyang mga lobules that are called follicles. No? Yung mga bilog na yan, these are called follicles. No? Which are made up of follicular cells. Okay? So, yung mga bilog na yan is made up of follicular cells, and outside of the follicle, may second type of cell pa that are called parafollicular cells. So, dalawang klase ng cells. Follicular cells, which makes up the follicles, and parafollicular cells. Now, going back, okay? Now, yung thyroid hormones are secreted by what? Follicular cells. While calcitonin is secreted by parafollicular cells. Now, back to thyroid hormones. Anong target ng thyroid hormones? Most tissues in the body. Almost all tissues in the body. And what does it do? It regulates metabolic rates and is needed for growth. Ang thyroid hormone is important for our metabolism and for growth and development of the body. That is why, no, medyo delikado kung ang hypothyroidism, meaning yung activity ng thyroid gland, mangyayari congenitally. Merong tinatawag na congenital hypothyroidism. Tingnan mo, para saan ba dapat ang thyroid hormone? For growth. Imagine if a newborn baby has congenital hypothyroidism. Na, mababansot yan. Okay? Tandaan nyo, yung term na bansot sa Tagalog, hindi lang yan doon sa size or doon sa hindi paglaki ng bata. It also has something to do for development, especially of the nervous system. Kaya karamihan ng nabansot, yung term na bansot, medyo mahina din yung cognitive function. Nakuha? No. It's because of hypothyroidism. Now, it also regulates metabolic rate. Ibig sabihin, yung thyroid hormones natin, siya yung nagpapabilis ng metabolic rate natin. Okay? Siya yung nagpapabilis ng metabolic rate. Kaya, yung may mga hypothyroidism, ano ibig sabihin ng hypothyroidism? Konti yung production ng thyroid hormones. Mabagal ang metabolism. One of the side effects of hypothyroidism, mabilis tumaba. Usually, may mga hypothyroidism tumataba. Baliktad naman nung may mga hyperthyroidism. Sila naman, yung kahit maraming kinakain, payat pa rin. Kasi mabilis yung kanilang metabolism. Kaya lang, anong side effect? Yan yung nagpapalpitate. Yung may mga hyperthyroidism, sila yung nagpapalpitate. Nakukuha? Na? Tapos nakaluwa yung mata. Okay? Pag nakita kayo niyan, no? Kasi nag-accumulate sila ng tissues right at the back of the orbit, which pushes yung eyeball outwards. Okay? Na? Hyperthyroidism yun. Maliwanag ba? Meron dalawang klase ng thyroid hormones. Hindi kasama dito sa PowerPoint, pero isama ko na rin. Baka nandito. Wala. What are the two kinds of hormones? Thyroid hormones. Tandaan nyo na lang, T3 at saka T4. Yung T3, kaya tinawag na T3, triiodothyronine. Again, triiodothyronine. Yung T4 naman, thyroxine. Again, thyroxine. Triiodothyronine and thyroxine are both made up of iodine molecules. In order for the follicular cells to synthesize thyroid hormone, kailangan ng iodine molecules. No? Kaya ang problema, yung iodine, no? Our body cannot synthesize its own iodine. Ang source ng iodine natin external from our diet. Kaya importante na kumakain tayo ng seafood o kaya naman yung ginagamit na asin dapat iodized. Nakuha? Lalo na sa mga buntis, no? Pagka nagkaroon ng kakulangan sa iodine yung mga buntis, malaki ang effect dun sa development ng thyroid gland ng fetus. No? Yun yung nagkakaroon ng congenital hypothyroidism. Yan, nababansot yung bata, no? Nagiging, ano yung term nyo ngayon? Nagiging 80-80. No? Sabi nga. No? Totoo yun. Ano talaga siya. Nakaka 80-80 talaga siya. Okay? So, asa na tayo? Next is calcitonin. Yung calcitonin naman, saan galing? Calcitonin is secreted by the parafollicular cells. That's why yung parafollicular cells, sa ibang libro, baka magbasa kayo, it's also known as C cells, as in capital C. C for calcitonin kasi, yung hormones that it secretes. No? And what does it do? Okay? Ang target tissue ng calcitonin is our bone. And ano ang ginagawa ng calcitonin? It reduces blood calcium level when high. Again, it reduces blood calcium level when high. Paano ginagawa ng calcitonin yon? Yung calcium na nasa dugo natin, dadalhin niya saan? No? Sa buto. Dadalhin niya sa buto. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, pinapadeposit niya yung calcium sa bones natin, strengthening our bone tissue. Hence, the name is calcitonin. So, tandaan, the two hormones secreted by the thyroid gland is your thyroid hormone and your calcitonin. What are the two kinds of thyroid hormones ulit? Ano yung dalawang thyroid hormones? T3 and T4. T3 is what? Triiodothyronine. T4 is thyroxine. Okay? Parehong metabolic hormones yan. Ngayon, let us compare the effects of hypo and hyperthyroidism. Yung iba na-mention ko na kanina. No? Pag hypothyroidism, mabagal ang metabolism. So therefore, the effect is weight gain. Reduced appetite. No? Kahit hindi masyadong kumakain kasi walang gana, nag-gain pa rin ng weight because of decreased metabolism. Mababa ang temperature, low pulse, dry and cold skin, no? Myxedema in adults, no? Pag sinabing myxedema, makita mo yung anong tawag dito, yung mata parang may tabak dito. No, hindi nakaluwa pero alam niyo yung parang may eye bag na malaking malaki dito. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng myxedema. And in infants, it results to cretinism. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina in Tagalog term na bansot. Kasi during the 80s, ang tawag bansot. No? Hindi, again, ulitin ko, yung bansot, hindi lang siya sa height, no? But also sa cognitive function, no? Nung bata. No? Mayroong ganun. That's why during the time of dapat ang gamot niyan lifetime. Kaya ngayon meron ng, alam niyo yung siguro nung kayo pinanganak, nag-undergo na rin kayo nito, yung newborn screening. Kasi during our time, walang newborn screening eh. No? Kaya ang daming bansot, ang daming nagkakaroon ng congenital hypothyroidism. Newborn screening yung talagang nakakawa ang baby pag mag-undergo nun. Kasi sa hill, kinukuhanan ng blood. No? Tapos ipapadala siya sa DOH accredited hospital na nag-examine ng blood. And here in the Philippines, there are 6 congenital metabolic disorders na nadidetect nung screening na yun. And one of those is congenital hypothyroidism. So, usually, pag nadidetect, kasi ang tanong ni Nicole, ano ba siya? Nagagamot ba siya? Pag nadetect siya during newborn screening, the treatment is lifetime supplementation of thyroid hormones para hindi siya mauwi sa cretinism or pagkabansot. Maliwanag? Kaya nga nung time ni President Fidel V. Ramos, Sa kanya nagsimula yung yung fortification ng salt, no, ng asin. Kaya lahat ng mabibili yung asin, whether rock salt or yung fine salt, no, sa mga supermarket ay fortified na with iodine. Sa palengke na lang tayo nakakabili ng rock salt na hindi fortified. Di ba? Pero lahat sa supermarket may iodine na siya. Di ba? Para maiwasan nga yung hypothyroidism. No? Okay, kasi dati, nung wala pang iodized salt, yung mga nakatira sa bundok na hindi masyadong nakakababa, no, sa tabing dagat, kasi ang source kasi ng iodine, yung mga seashells eh. So kahit mahirap ka kung nakatira ka sa tabing dagat, no, nakakakain ka ng tahong, no, ng halaan, yun, hindi ka magkukulang sa iodine. Pero yung mga nakatira sa taas ng bundok, no, so kung hindi nakakakain ng seashells, yan, sila yung kinukulang sa iodine. Okay? Since ngayon, no, meron ng mga iodized salt, hindi na dahilan yung hindi ka nakakakain ng seashells. No? Meron ng fortified na iodine. Okay? Although meron pa rin nagkakaroon ng hypothyroidism. Now, hyper naman is the opposite. No? Tingnan nyo lang yung table, baliktad lang siya. Hyperthyroidism, increased metabolism, weight loss, increased appetite and nervousness, no? Kaya laging increased yung pulse rate, nagpapalpitate, no? Higher temperature, warm and flushed skin, sila yung mainitin, no? Intolerant sa mainit, kumbaga. And ang tawag dun sa sakit na yon, it's called Graves' disease, which leads to goiter. Okay? No? Yan yung lumalaki yung thyroid gland na kung tawagin Gaucher. Okay? So, again, that's those are the two, no, opposite thyroid hormone disorders. Next is your parathyroid gland. Nasaan ang parathyroid gland natin? Ito yung 4 na maliliit na glands located at the back of our thyroid glands. Ayan. These are your parathyroid glands. Okay. Ano naman ang function ng parathyroid gland? It targets our bones and kidneys. It regulates blood calcium levels more than calcitonin. So, ibig sabihin, mas potent siya kaysa sa calcitonin. Ano ulit ang ginagawa ni calcitonin? Pag mataas ang blood calcium level, binababa niya by bringing calcium where? To our bones. Okay? Ito naman, ang ginagawa ni parathyroid hormone, baliktad. No? If blood calcium level is low, yung osteoclast, these are cells located in our bone, break down bone matrix, no? And yung calcium na yon mapupunta sa blood naman natin. So, kung si calcitonin, dinideposit niya yung calcium sa buto, itong si parathyroid hormone, kinukuha niya si calcium from our bones. Sino sa dalawa yung pwedeng mag-cause ng osteoporosis if there is excess calcitonin or excess parathyroid hormone? Sino mag-cause ng osteoporosis? Ito. Hyperparathyroidism. Pwede siyang mag-cause ng osteoporosis. Kasi ang gagawin kasi niya, tatanggalin niya yung calcium sa buto mo. Dadalhin niya sa iyong blood. Maliwanag ba? Now, yung deficiency or imbalance in calcitonin and parathyroid hormone, aside from affecting our our bones, do you think it can affect muscle function? Why? The answer nyo, yes. Why? Because calcium is important for muscle contraction. Di ba? Kaya yung may mga abnormalities sa thyroid gland and parathyroid gland, isa sa mga signs and symptoms nila, muscle weakness. May iba pa nga akala nila na stroke na sila dahil weakness of the body. No? Only to find out endocrine abnormality pala. No? Specifically of the thyroid o kaya parathyroid gland. Okay? So, tandaan niyo yan. Okay. Okay na tayo dyan. Now, let's go to the adrenal glands naman. No? So, the adrenal glands are the two glands, no, located at the top of our kidneys. In some books, they are also known as your suprarenal glands. No? Yan yung kung tawagin, suprarenal glands. And the suprarenal glands is divided into two layers. The cortex or the adrenal cortex and your adrenal medulla. The cortex secretes corticosteroids, as we have said earlier, while the medulla secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine. You already know the function of epinephrine and norepinephrine. Yan yung adrenaline and noradrenaline from your science class during your elementary. Which is important for what? Important for what yan? For fight or flight response. What do you mean by fight or flight response? Ano ibig sabihin ng fight or flight response? When there is a crisis, di ba? Like for example, wag naman sana mangyari, nasusunog ang bahay mo. Fight or flight response yun. Di ba? Kailangan mo maging malakas para makalabas ka agad ng bahay or mailigtas mo kung ano man yung kailangan mo iligtas dun sa nasusunog na bahay. Kaya nga may tinatawag na adrenaline rush. Nakukuha niyo yung point? Now, adrenaline is epinephrine. Yun din yun. Okay? Now, so, nakukuha? When you say flight naman, no, para makaligtas kami ng babaril. No? Okay? Merong nang hahabol sa'yo na alam mong masyadong malaki, may hawak na baseball pa. Di ba? Si Tung-Tung-Tung sa Hurbala yun. Okay? Nakukuha niyo yung point? Di ba? So, you have to run, flight. Kailangan mo pa rin maging malakas. Yun yun. Nakukuha niyo? No? While, again, itong cortex, anong nilalabas niya? Corticosteroids. And we have two kinds of corticosteroids. Mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids. Yung sinasabi natin kaninang cortisol, it falls under glucocorticoids. Kaya si cortisol, pinapataas niya yung blood glucose levels or blood sugar levels. Okay? Yun, nakalimutan ko na namang mag-advance ng slide. So, epinephrine and norepinephrine, anong target niya? Heart, blood vessels, livers, and fat cells. No? And it is released as part of fight or flight response. Yun na yun. No? Kaya, magpapalpitate ka, di ba? No? Mag-i-increase yung heart rate mo, yung blood vessels mo magpo-constrict, no? Kaya tataas yung blood pressure. Nakuha? No? Si liver maglalabas ng sugar. Okay? So, yan. Again, it is released as part of the flight or fight response. While sa adrenal cortex, dalawa, sabi natin kanina, dalawang nire-release sa adrenal cortex. Mineralocorticoid at saka glucocorticoid. Yung mineralocorticoid is aldosterone. Anong target ng aldosterone? Kidneys. Anong ginagawa ng aldosterone sa kidneys? It regulates ion balance, specifically sodium and potassium. Okay? So, it causes sodium and water to be retained and potassium to be secreted, meaning iniihi natin. It has something to do with sodium-potassium exchange pump. Napansin nyo ba? Sodium sa potassium, magkaiba ng direction yan sa cell, di ba? No? Yung sodium nire-retain natin, samantalang yung potassium nilalabas natin. Yun ang effect ng aldosterone. Nakuha? That's why secretion of aldosterone causes water retention. Again, aldosterone secretion causes water retention sa kidneys natin. Maliwanag ba? Okay? And then, yung isa, nabanggit na natin kanina, cortisol, it is a glucocorticoid. Anong target niya? Most tissues in the body. No? And its main function is to reduce inflammatory and the immune response. Kaya pag stressed tayo during lack of sleep, it is the cortisol that decreases immunity. Okay? No? Kaya nagdi-decrease ang immunity natin pag stressed, no? Pagkakulang sa tulog, no? Okay? Yun ang reason behind that. And also, no, yung corticosteroids din, no, yung mga, di ba meron mga synthetic corticosteroid. Usually, saan ginagamit ang mga synthetic corticosteroid? Gamot sa hika. Di ba? Bakit? Kasi anti-inflammatory siya. Pag may hika tayo, di ba, anong namamaga? Yung airways natin. Kaya hindi makahinga kasi namamaga yung airways. Anong ginagawa ng corticosteroid? Example ng corticosteroid, yung mga gamot nagtatapos sa zone. Ang pangalan, prednisone, methylprednisolone, no? Yung mga yun, ang effect niya is anti-inflammatory reaction. Specifically of our airway. No? Kaya lang, long-term effect ng long-term effect. Anong long-term effect ng corticosteroid? Yung mga tumataba. Di ba? Kasi same effect siya ng cortisol. Maliwanag ba? Tandaan nyo yan, ha? Okay na yan. Tapos, last, no? Another secretion by adrenal cortex are androgens. Okay? Androgens. No? So, pag sinabing androgens, these are similar to testosterone. Pero hindi talaga siya testosterone. Similar to testosterone. Kaya ang effect niya, secondary sexual characteristics. Nakukuha sa mga lalaki. Sa mga babae naman, ang effect niya, sex drive. Okay. And then last, yan. Last natin is the pancreas. Yung pancreas is a mixed gland. It has an exocrine portion and endocrine portion. Yung exocrine portion, yun yung may ducts. Ang secretion niya papunta sa duodenum natin, sa bituka natin. Na? Important for the digestion of protein that we eat. Yung endocrine portion naman niya, is composed of small cells called the islets of Langerhans. And it is dispersed all throughout the exocrine portion of the pancreas. If you will look at the drawing, ayan, ang example ng pancreatic islets or the islets of Langerhans. Now, the islets of Langerhans is composed of 3 cell types. Ano yung 3 cell types niya? Alpha cells, beta cells, and delta cells. The alpha cells secretes glucagon. Beta cells secrete insulin. Siguro ang madalas yung marinig dito, insulin. And then the delta cells secrete somatostatin. Okay? Now, all 3 hormones regulate levels of glucose in the blood. That is why a disease of the islets of Langerhans will result to Yung sinabi natin kanina, diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is specifically a disorder of the beta cells. Nagkukulang sa insulin, kaya tumataas ang blood sugar levels. Okay? Didiscuss pa natin further yan. Ayan. So, insulin. Anong target niya? Liver, skeletal muscle, adipose tissue. Anong function niya? Regulates blood glucose level. How does it regulate blood glucose level? After a meal, pagkatapos natin kumain, whether matamis yan or hindi, basta kahit anong kainin mo, pag nabusog ka, ang blood sugar level mo tumataas. Okay? Kasi yung ating liver nagre-release ng glucose pagkatapos natin kumain. So, anong ginagawa ni pancreas? Naglalabas ng insulin para i-control yung blood sugar na yan. Excuse me. So that yung extra glucose is secreted in the form of glycogen. Saan tinatago ang glycogen? Sa liver and in our muscles. So imagine kung kulang ka sa insulin, tataas ang iyong blood sugar. Especially after eating. Okay? No? Yun ang delikado. Kapag ka yung isang diabetes mellitus patient, no, na insulin dependent ay hindi nagkagamot. Okay. Yun. Diabetes mellitus. If there is too little insulin or faulty insulin receptors. Ano yung symptoms niya? Hyperglycemia, meaning increased blood sugar levels. No? Increased appetite and increased urine. No? Okay? So may dalawang klase ng diabetes mellitus. Type 1, no? Or kung tawagin natin, IDDM. Bakit tinawag na IDDM? Insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus. Or yung type 2, no? Or yung insulin-independent diabetes mellitus. Or NIDDM, non-insulin dependent. So yung type 1, yun yung nangangailangan ng daily injections. Usually, na-acquire yan since childhood pa lang. Pagkabata pa lang. Alin dyan ang lifestyle related? Ang lifestyle related is yung type 2. Kulang ka sa exercise, malakas kumain, mahilig sa matatamis. It results to obesity hanggang maging ano na siya. No? Type 2 diabetes. So usually ito, ang gamot dito yung mga oral hypoglycemic agents, metformin, mga ganun. Ito namang type 1, kailangan talaga niya ng insulin injection. Okay? Yung glucagon naman, okay, ito naman, opposite siya ng insulin. Glucagon, ang function naman yan, siya yung nagpapataas ng ating blood sugar levels. It allows glycogen to be broken down into glucose. Tumataas naman ang glucagon pag tayo ay gutom in between meals. No? Bakit? No? Kasi, di ba, pagka in between meals, bumababa ang blood sugar, magsasuffer naman yung cells natin, especially the brain. Di ba? Kaya, di ba, pagka hindi ka kumain for a long period of time, di ba, pag naging hypoglycemic ka, andiyan nahihilo ka na, o yung mga elementary dati sa public school, hindi nagbe-breakfast. Diba? Nahihimatay sa school. Bakit? Hypoglycemic na eh. Diba? So yun, tinatry i-prevent yun ng glucagon. Pero pag sobrang baba ng iyong blood sugar at hindi na-compensate ng glucagon, yun, nahihimatay. Yung may mga nag-hypoglycemia. Diba? Iba talaga pakiramdam pag gutom na gutom ka na, diba? Yung parang nanginginig yung katawan mo na nagpapalpitate ka, yan, na hindi mo maintindihan. Hypoglycemia ang tawag ko. At may, nandun din, pag nagsisimula pa lang, parang naiiba yung mood mo, mainit ang ulo mo. Diba? Kaya huwag ka daw magpapapirma sa mga office pagka mga 11:30 na. Totoo yan. Kasi hypoglycemic na yung mga tao, nag-anticipate na ng lunch, kumbaga. Di ba? Or wag kang pupunta doon na ang dala mo, i-consult mo problem, kumbaga. Di ba? Okay na tayo. Ito sa ano na to? Sa reproductive na to. Okay? So it's already 2:30. So quiz tayo on Wednesday regarding...
Sir! Akala ko ba 3 days?
Totoo ba yan?
Happy ni Sir JC!
Si JC naman eh.